And hello, welcome to another episode of 3D Hangouts. My name is Noah Ruiz. I'm a designer here at Adafruit, and joining me every week is Mr. Pedro.
What's going on, everybody? I'm Pedro, Creative Tech here at Adafruit, and every week we come to share 3D printing projects featuring electronics from Adafruit.
That's right. Did I already say my part? Yeah,
No.
I think I did. All right. Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another 3D Hangouts. My name is Noah Ruiz, and I'm a designer. That's it, right? Yeah. Welcome to episode 229, the sort of podcast edition. We're trying out a different mic setup to see how that works. So far, we have very laggy video. We're aware of that. We're going to see if we can fix that. So welcome, everyone in the chat room. Thank you so much for joining us. It looks like the overhead is okay. And we'll switch over to this one. That one's pretty live, right? It's just the front cam? Cool. Tell people about the coupon code while I fix that.
This week's coupon code is Portal Time. That'll get you 10% off your Adafruit order. Works on everything except subscriptions and gift certificates, so make sure to take advantage of that. Expires at 11:59 p.m. tonight.
Yep. Keep going.
Other freebies that we can talk about at adafruit.com/free. You can check out all of the different tiers and the products you can get when you put your order in.
Sweet, we fixed it. Excellent. Yeah, so check out this slide over here. This shows you a couple pictures of the freebies. I believe we are still giving out some pins and stuff. Let's take a look. I'm going to actually head over to the site.
Some of them have already gone.
And looks like we still have some deals. Check it out right here. If you head over to the website, adafruit.com/free, you can see all the lovely things that are available for free. If you buy more stuff, and the details for the different tiers and whatnot are right there in text. Excellent. All right, we still got some stuff. If you are looking to get your parts delivered the same day you order it, you can use the option there for the fine folks in New York City. Check out the website for more details on that. CircuitPython meetings happen every Monday at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. This is a great chance to check in with the community and the CircuitPython devs to see what is going on in the world of CircuitPython. This happens in our Discord server. That's right, discord.gg/Adafruit. That's the invite link, or you can just search for Adafruit Discord, and you'll find it in the Googles. So check that out. That's where we're hanging out right now, and it's a chat that happens 24/7. Great place to share your projects and get project help. Speaking of CircuitPython, check out circuitpython.org. We are getting daily, weekly updates to the website. So I believe one of the new ones is we're working on getting filters and things, so you can quickly search and filter through all the different hardwares that is CircuitPython compatible. When it comes to newsletters, we have quite a few of them. Adafruitdaily.com is where you can find out all the different categories and opt in to get some emails in your inbox on the dailies. For the weekly, product focus one, adafruit.com/newsletter. Subscribe to that one to find out all the latest weekly products from Adafruit. Jobs board. It's jobs.adafruit.com. This is a great place to find out where all the maker companies are looking for awesome maker folks with maker skills. So if you haven't already, you can make a free profile, whether you're a company or a maker. Check it out. It's jobs.adafruit.com. Sweet. All right. Well, how's everybody doing? I hope everybody's well. Let me see if I
Quick
can.
shout out to everybody in the chat room over on YouTube. We got Charles Thomas, Mahode, Game Tech. All the things are Salmon, Mad Scientist, James, Dunham, Thomas, Hillfree, Kirby. And over on the Discord, as always, Mr. Certainly hanging out. We got Dave Estells, author of today's awesome project.
That's right.
Troy, and a couple others. If you guys want to join us in the chats, head on over to the YouTube chat, Discord, or Facebook as well. Giving shout outs over to Terry Wall and Aaron Alexander's in the house. Brian Edwards, Blake. Thank you all for hanging out this morning. Let's go ahead and jump into this week's super awesome project featuring the PyPortal.
Yeah, do you want to do overhead first or learn guide?
Let's do overhead. Or
All
actually, that side
head.
profile.
There we go.
Showed this off this week. This is the awesome Star Trek inspired clock written by Dave Estells. Nice little design by myself. No, I did some modifications to it. It is a fully functioning alarm clock being powered by CircuitPython. So, of course, you can set the alarm and all that with the touch screen. I can maneuver over there, the overhead. And you have your touch and swipe up options. You can change what hour and minute that you want to have that on. So disable the alarm from here, maybe the red button or the green button to enable. You can go back. You have different machine states that David Sells is programmed in here. And you have your speaker on the top for audible alerts, your built-in snooze button here to disable or put it in snooze for about 10 minutes. You can, of course, change all of that in the easy-to-read CircuitPython code. We have lots of nice little decals on here to complete the aesthetic of the Star Trek look of it, and an ample of ports on the back. You have recharging with the PowerBoost 1000C on the back, so you can charge your 2500 milliamp hour battery that's inside. You can also charge other devices by plugging in the USB that's on the back here. Try to attempt that like that. And then you have a more modern 2.1 millimeter barrel jack to charge everything up if you need.
Yeah, let's get a look at the front again. Big feature. It is also a weather station. You can get current weather data here, so it's at 71 Fahrenheit. You can change that to Celsius as well. It's displaying an icon as well for the for the weather, which is all being pulled in using the Open Weather Map API, which is very cool. All of the assets are completely customizable, so if you want to have a different interface, you can design one. You can have your own fonts. This is using the CircuitPython bitmap font library, so we have different fonts that we can play with. And there's a lot of little features as well that are built in that we're going to look at. And this is the alert now, so the alert's being triggered. You have complete control over the interval of the alert and how long you want the snooze to last. Right now I have it set to 10 seconds. You'll notice that there's a little ZZZZ icon. That is to let you know that it is snoozing, so it's in the snooze mode. So it'll keep doing this until you clear the alert by tapping anywhere on the display. Yeah. You hit the snooze button first, right? No, you cleared it. Very good. All right, so now it's cleared. And you can set it again using the little icon, little alarm bell icon, and you can tap and slowly swipe up or slowly swipe down to reduce, to change the hour or the minutes, which is really nice. And there's a hidden feature in here. There's a little mug icon that says Mugsy, and if you tap on Mugsy, you will get a little Mugsy icon graphic. There you go. The goal for that is to kind of control a separate IoT device, maybe a coffee maker or motorized blinds, any of that sort of stuff. So it's kind of built in as a forthcoming feature that you can implement. Very awesome. So yeah, it's got a lot of awesome stuff going for it. It's very fully featured. So let's head on over to the Learn site and get a look at the Learn guide. Again, this is in collaboration with Dave Estells. Dave is hanging out in the chat room. You can say what's up. So this overview just kind of goes through all the different parts that we're using in the project. Of course, you can choose your own adventure game. You can choose what parts you'd like to use. But for the case, we are pretty much using all these right here that are listed. We're currently out of stock of the PyPortal, but definitely sign up to get notified when that is back in stock. You got a nice speaker, arcade button. Looks like you didn't clear it out. All right, now it's cleared.
I actually set it up for another alarm.
Okay, cool. And the PowerBoost 1000C allows this to be battery operated, although you don't need it to be battery operated. We think it's a nice feature. Dave thought it would be good to kind of have, maybe if you're traveling, you want to go to your hotel, you can bring it with you and have it battery powered for a little bit. Also here is a nice wall adapter that you can have on the that has a USB cable built into the wall adapter. We also have one with the DC jack and the DC jack panel mount if you want that. So those are all the parts that are being used in the project. go ahead and jump over to the use. This is going to tell just a nice description of how you use the clock, how you set the alarm, and what you can change here. Very cool. And there's a little note here about the Mugsy.
Yes, Dave just commented saying that it's supposed to be working with, or it's meant to work with the robot pour over. It was a Kickstarter. He's waiting on that to come in. And you can also use it with IoT builds like the Hue lights.
Yes.
Brent just finished one with one of the cheaper type of Hue lights that'll work with this, so might be able to implement that.
Yeah, this is great. So you can have all your IoT projects kind of talking to each other, which would be really neat. Yeah, so in this photo here, you can see Pedro's charging an iDevice here. So it does, you can charge a separate device while this is being powered via the battery or plugged into the wall. It's really nice that the Adafruit PowerBoost can do that. It has the built-in iOS resistors, I believe, to kind of properly charge an iOS device, and of course other devices as well, like Android and whatnot. Yeah. Cool. Over to the hardware section, we're looking at the circuit diagram. This was created using the Fritzing software. We have a nice library of all the Adafruit parts in Fritzing format, so you can create your own lovely wiring diagrams. It's pretty self-explanatory. The speaker plugs into the speaker port, and then we're using these stemma connectors to kind of connect up an arcade button, and we're siphoning power from one of those wires to get the voltage into the PowerBoost, and also ground there. As you can see, we got the USB port for charging external devices, and we also have this this DC barrel jack that is wired into the USB pin and one of the grounds. The slide switch is right here. It's just connecting. It should just connect to enable and ground. I don't believe you need the VS. Maybe that doesn't do anything, but stick with the enable and ground for your slide switch or your toggle switch, and that way you can turn the whole circuit off. There you go. The battery isn't in this, but it would connect to that JST connector there. So.
Perfect timing question for Thomas asking, does it charge through just DC or USB-C only? It'll charge through either or. So whether you have it plugged into the barrel jack or USB micro, you can get a USB-C breakout if you'd like. Or just
USB-C. Interesting.
Yeah, you can get a USB-C breakout that we have in the shop.
Yeah, I guess you could.
Definitely use that.
Yeah, but for now, it has a built-in micro USB port. The Adafruit PowerBoost does. Sweet. So there you go. There's the wiring of it. This talks about the graphics inspired by LCARS from Star Trek: The Next Generation. And we have a couple notes here just to kind of reference where we got the icons from. It's Creative Commons, of course, and the icons are from the weather map, Open Weather Map site, which is all there. So there you go. The Mugsy icon is from the Mugsy site. So there you go. Very nice. Nice note there. On to the code part. This is going to walk you through setting up your hardware with the latest version of CircuitPython and all the necessary libraries. So you definitely want to read through that nice and thoroughly. We're going to skim through it a little bit. So you can download all the library files by hitting up the new website, circuitpython.org. We have a direct link here in this nice green button. And we have a nice list of exactly all the libraries that you'll need that are kind of dependent to make this code work. So there we go. We get a nice handful of libraries. You can pick and drop them into your lib folder on your CircuitPy drive. This is what it looks like. A nice screenshot of that. And then here's the code. Check out the code on GitHub. If you want to make any adjustments or do any pull requests, please do so. That's why it's up there. So you can check it out here in all its glory. You can also pull down the assets and stuff like that inside of the main directory, which is right here. So you can see they're all bitmaps. These bitmaps have recently been converted to 16-bit, so they're a little bit smaller in terms of file size, and hopefully they load faster as well. So now we have 8-bit, 16-bit, and 24-bit support for bitmaps. You can check that out there. Okay. And it's nicely commented as well. Shout out to Dave for writing all the nice and lovely comments. My mouse is almost dying. Sometimes it's the surface that I'm on. All right, cool. So we can walk through that. Again, check it out on GitHub. Go back up here. And then as you walk through to the truncated pages, you're going to thoroughly walk through all the sections of the code. First one is setting up all the library modules. So we're walking through that. A little note about the secrets file. This is where you want to put in your Open Weather Map token, which you can get from openweather.org. You can sign up for an account. It's free, and you can obtain a API token key. And you can pop that into your secrets file. Some other things in here like time zone, city. For the city, there's a special ID that you'll need to find, and Dave has provided a very nice link to see all the different cities and their IDs, so you can definitely grab that real quick. When it comes to variables and configuration here, it looks like this is where we're pulling our data. This is where we're pulling the city ID and the token right here, as I'm reading it there. Okay. And then we're going to walk through and set up all the things. So where you want, let's say you have a different light sensor. If you're working with different hardware, you can change that here. You can also change the snooze button, what it's wired to. Let's say you use a different port or a different pin. You can change it right here. The alarm global variables here allows you to change any of the file names, the image background for the alert, for example, or the alarm file, which is a WAV file. And then here you can set the interval for the alarm, the hour. You can also hard code the alarm hour and minute, but of course you can also change that on screen using the touchscreen. And the snooze interval. So right now it's set to 6 minutes. It'll snooze every 6 minutes by default. I had mine set to 10 seconds just because I wanted to be able to test it so quickly. Okay, and we can walk through some more of this, but definitely take your time to walk through it. Pull up your device and some coffee and have a good time reading it. We're doing logging here. There's some nice support functions for text areas. Onto the state machines, this really gives you a nice visual of all the different states as you are in the time. You can you can go to the settings, the Mugsy page, and the alarm page. So this is a nice visual here of how it's kind of flowing through all the different states. Yeah. And then we walk through here, the common states base class, all nicely broken out. This is so thorough. This is awesome. Onto the time state, it talks about all the different states of the time, when it's triggering the alarm, when it's snoozing, it's pulling the current time, so you have all that data here. And then I believe the next one is the Mugsy state, which is going to be an awesome feature. Mm-hmm. All right, and then the alarm state is over here. This one walks through the alarm state. Nice photo, by the way. And we're talking about ticks here, touch, enter events, and the exit events, all nicely broken out for you. Setting state as well. There we go. I think this is the last portion of the code, but hey, it's all there for you to digest.
Quick note from Dave saying these pages need to be updated to be in line with the repo, so definitely check the repos out for the most updated embedded code for that.
Okay. Excellent. Thank
Moving
you.
on to the 3D printing portion of the assembly. These are all 3D printed using PLA filament. We're using fasteners to hold everything together because as all the things as pointed out, will it be able to survive being thrown across the room? I don't know about the battery, but all the rest of the components are nicely...
No, I think it'll be fine. The battery's nice and tacked down with foam tape.
Yeah, so that should be able to survive your aggressive, if you wake up on the wrong side of the bed, it should be able to survive when you throw it.
Yeah, I think it'll be fine.
Speaking of that, want to sort of side...
no.
You don't want to show yours?
No, we're walking through this guide.
Okay. We'll get that to the end now, but all the parts are there. They should fit within 100 by 100, so the smallest 3D printer should be able to print this out. A couple little small parts, shouldn't be any problem with a 0.4 millimeter nozzle like the button holder on there. If we scroll down a little bit, we have the slice settings that I use for this. No supports are needed for this since it is printing sort of at an angle. You just have to make sure that the front side of the case, where the monitor is just laying flat on the bed. I did save these as is, so they should be good to print from there.
Yeah. Here's a nice list of the screws, fasteners that you'll need. The PowerBoost needs some M25 by 5mm, and we have them linked as well.
Yeah, these are, we just get them from Albany Fasteners, but any flathead Phillips screwdrivers should be able to fit inside here. These are the M2.5 for the PowerBoost. This is the only oddball out of these. Then the M3 5mm long for the brackets and the PyPortal itself. And then the case, so to make the standoffs as small as I could, I made them utilize the M2 by 5mm screws for that.
Okay.
First thing for assembly is adding your M3 screws to the bracket, which is going to hold your PyPortal and attach to the main case. You want to add the 2 screws for the bracket before you lay your PyPortal on top. Otherwise, you are going to have to like remove your SD card, which isn't a big deal. It should fit the screw if you do it in the wrong order. And those should mount nicely. You just want to line up the little circle cutout for the light sensor that is on the front of the PyPortal. So you just want to line those up. And then moving on to assembling your PowerBoost connections, I do list the sizes of each cable that you want to trim everything down to, especially your stemma cable, since those are going to create a rat's nest if you leave those at the length, default lengths for those. And I did a little bit of trickery of adding like some jumper cables to make connecting some of the components a lot more easier. Noah mentioned that the JST connections is another option if you don't have any jumper cables around. It'll actually make it a little bit more smaller, so you can coil those up a little bit more easier than having those 2 long jumper cable little connectors on each end. And we're doing this for the stemma cable itself, since we are splitting the ground connection there, so we could feed it to the barrel jack and the button. And then the DC barrel jack has its own, so you can actually fit that through the lid, the back lid. Otherwise, there's no way to fit that through once it's already been soldered on. And then the button itself also makes it a little bit more easier when you're mounting to the case. Just add the jumper cables to that.
Yeah. Yep. Nice. One is the DC barrel jack. Okay.
Mm-hmm. And of course, shrink wrap for everything, so none of the connections touch. If you click on I think this one here, there's one thing that I forgot to do with the USB, especially if you have an iOS device that requires that, the chip verification that it is okay to charge. You are going to have to connect the other additional 2 wires that are on there. So we're just utilizing the 4 strip silicone coated wires for that to make it a little more easier than having just strands of wires for the USB connector.
Yeah, so it's what is it? The data?
It's like data negative, data positive, I believe.
Right, it's like a green and a white wire. Yeah, there's plenty of online
the funny
wiring
thing
how to
is,
wire that.
When I was testing this out in the prototype stage, my iPhone charged perfectly, and then once everything was assembled, we're ready to shoot, it didn't want to. It refused to charge until I soldered those additional other 2 wires on there. It's like, okay.
Yeah, any other device will be fine though.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, extra 2 wires if you want an iDevice.
Yeah.
Okay. Back over here.
Moving on to assembling your display, we're just going to fasten those 2 screws that are on the bracket, the PyPortal on the inside. Make sure those are aligned properly. And then mounting the PowerBoost, we're going to use the M2.5mm screws, and then align the USB port on the PowerBoost to the edge of the screen. And then the USB-A has these 3 little walls that it snaps into. The additional support for keeping it in those little walls is going to come from the back lid. You want to arrange your wires so they're not, scattered everywhere. And then moving on to mounting the arcade button. I didn't go in detail of disassembling the 30mm arcade button that we're utilizing for that, but I do have linked the past project in which Noah did the NeoPixel arcade button. And inside that guide you have the assembly of how to deconstruct your arcade button.
I remember this. Yeah, it's a very nice little assembly here. This is just to take apart the arcade button and take out the little actual button piece. And this just shows you how to wire up a NeoPixel inside of there, but we're not doing that here.
If you wish to do that, yeah, you can continue.
But this is the piece you want, this little nub here with the little white piece on top and the 2 contacts.
Yes.
All right, very cool.
Oh crap! One thing I also forgot to mention was I did have to remove about half of the little plug that's on.
Yeah, they're called terminals. Yeah,
the little terminals. Yeah, I did have to snip those a little bit shorter just to keep in size with the size, dimensions of the case.
Yeah,
I don't want to make it so tall. So
you could also bend them. Did you bend them or just snip them down?
You can bend them. Yeah, I just snipped them right off.
Yeah, normally I have to bend them too because I want a nice low profile for my button.
Exactly.
All right. Well, cool.
So, always options for that.
Yeah.
And once you have your little actuator that'll mount on the top, presses in place with the little button holder, and then we're using the M2 by 5mm long screws to adhere that to the bottom of the case there.
Yeah, so it just fastens in. There's like a built-in standoffs in the frame, it looks like, and these little mounting tabs on the button holder.
Yeah, we'll show that off in the overhead after.
Is it possible to orient that wrong, or is it? It looks like it'll just.
No,
pretty close to the edge there.
So the way the tabs are, if you oriented the wrong way, the button's not going to fit. So there's only one way to put it in.
Okay, cool. Yeah, and the picture shows you which the right orientation.
Yeah, which way to orient it and how to mount it. Moving on to mounting the speaker, there are these little 2 rectangular cutaways near the back of the case. You want to align your terminals on the speaker with that, and then angle it, have that side come in first, and then apply a little bit of pressure on the opposite side to snap the 30mm speaker on there.
Cool.
And then you could either trim your wires short, or as I've done here, you can easily coil these up since they're not too many and they're like a nice thinner gauge for that to allow it to not look so rat nesty. And those are using the Pico connector that we're just soldering the wires on the speaker to the little Pico.
Yeah, you'll definitely want to get this. I'm not sure if that was listed. You definitely want to.
It's in the parts list.
Oh, okay. I see what you mean.
In the photo, I don't know if it was in
the front page.
The actual list of all the parts. Yeah,
you definitely want to get this one because the speaker doesn't come with this connector. It does come with wires, but not with this connector. So.
Yeah, pick up a couple since they are utilized in the hollowing.
They totally are.
A couple other boards.
There's the hollowing. Yeah, we're going to use this more moving forward, it looks like.
A really good way of doing the speaker hookup for that.
Yeah.
Moving on to assembling your barrel switch and the slide switch. Those, the barrel switch, you just remove the metal ring, pop it through the front side of the back lid, and then rethread your metal screws on there. The slide switch has those little 3 walls that hold it in place. You just pop it in at an angle, and that should hold in there. You just want to make sure that you check on the opposite side where the hole for that is, and make sure that the little switch does indeed protrude from there so you can easily access it.
Looks like the battery gets stuck to a nice spot near the PyPortal on the bottom there, next to the PowerBoost.
Yeah, I wanted to originally have like a little bracket that held it in place, but because there are differences in the way that the shape of the battery is, I just opted out for using the double stick foam tape to make that a little bit easier. You should have room for, I think, a 6600 milliamp hour battery if you really do want to make sure that this is, just really portable.
Yeah, the cylindrical batteries.
No, the cylindrical double. Yeah, it's like 2 of them stacked on top of each other. 4 of them stacked on top of each other.
That's right.
I believe.
Yep. Or 2200 also fits.
2200 would fit as well.
Sweet. All right, so to close it up, we got, well, not yet.
No, if you do close it up, you're using the 4 M2mm screws for that.
Okay.
Those just to line up. You want to just make sure that your wires are out of the edges so they don't get caught on that.
Right. Yeah, the button got updated. The button pretty much looks like that was got a little bit more features there to line it up so it doesn't wobble so much.
Yeah, we'll show that in
we'll
the overhead right now, actually.
It lines up with the little white nub actuator piece, and that just it has a snug fit. So you may or may not need to adjust your slice settings for that to fit, but I think it'll work for most things. there you go. That's the majority of the build right there.
Yeah, jump over to the overhead. Some of the updates that were applied was to the snooze button.
Yeah.
So like you were saying,
I think I have a blank one somewhere. Here it is. Here's a blank one.
Pop this guy out like
you
that.
can also see this one.
You can see we added some wings.
Yeah, they're like ribs.
Ribs.
So this will mate with the side of the actual holder for the button. So you can see there's some nice clearance between those two edges, so that way it'll kind of secure a little bit better. Yeah.
It's just
Yeah, and then that just press fits in as well.
do that first.
Yeah, you can do that too.
Like that.
Yep.
And you just align these. We're using the holographic vinyl for all of the details on these as well. So just a little bit more added graphics. I think you actually added that to the zip file.
No, I tried to. Yeah, I could provide a SVG file if you guys want, but I omitted it from design because the look doesn't look that good when you extrude it on the surface and then try to print that. It doesn't look so good. This is where you definitely want to have a vinyl cutter so you can cut out some really nice sharp decals and lettering for your projects.
Yeah, we did attempt a dual extrusion of this.
This was last minute, guys. Like this
Yeah.
was not planned at all. This is just like, I got some few minutes, I'll print this out.
Which is how all these projects usually turn out, right?
Yeah.
Last minute at the end.
Yeah, so transfer paper, vinyl. That's how we
Yeah.
did it. Transfer
Slots on the
paper.
side give you access to the SD card,
yeah.
micro SD card, as well as if you just want to program the PyPortal itself, even the fattest USB cable should be able to fit
Okay.
in that slot. Are some modifications that you could do, like if you wanted to have this completely closed off, like a version that we worked on.
Sure, you can do that too. And
Shut off.
no, not yet. The rubber feet at the bottom have these little dimples, these little indentations,
Yeah.
so that they fit those
This
nicely.
was Dave's idea. He was asking if we could add these little indentations or even nubs to have the little rubber feet fit into. So they do have a little bit of a nub or like a dimple on the inside, so an impression, so the feet don't wander around. So they're in there.
Pretty good.
It's a really good idea. We have so many of these feet. We always want to utilize them in projects, but we never get around to it. So
yeah.
a good idea to have those.
Yeah, I like that holographic.
That looks so good.
Yep.
And in terms of modifying designs, like if you wanted to like move, any of the grills or anything around,
totally
you can
have at it.
do
All
that
the source files are available to download. It's a Fusion file. You can also download it as a step file so that you can open it in any of the solid modeling apps out there.
See if I can quickly get this. No, it's going to take too long.
Yeah, that's fine.
So if you want to have this without like the battery recharging on there, or the button on there.
Yeah, you can do this all with just the PyPortal, no other external components. It will still fit and work. If you want the speaker or not, you can swap that out. Yeah, maybe close that off as well.
So
There you go.
there isn't a different model as
Yeah,
well.
let's move on to Woody prototyping then, because that's the next segment. So I liked this project so much that I wanted to do a different version of it using the snap fit features. So that's what we got. So it's pretty much the same type of shape, a little bit different. Instead of having a snooze button on top or on the bottom there next to the screen, we have an arcade button, the mini LED arcade button on top, like right here on top. Yeah, another differentiating part is I'm using the toggle switch, which is panel mounted to turn it on and off, so it's a little bit bigger. And this is running the weather station code that is up on GitHub. So it just displays the weather, it doesn't display the time. Let's take a look at the back. We have some similar things. I have the same speaker, but this time it's mounted on the back. The Adafruit PowerBoost is that little USB, the micro USB next to the DC jack. So there's the DC jack as well. So you can see all that there. Look at the side of the other side. This has a more of a sort of a indented port, display port, I would call it, I guess.
Off, yeah.
Yeah, it just kind of goes inward and gets a little bit closer so that those holes are a little bit smaller. that's how I dealt with that. And it's all snap fit, so you can remove the back and the front. There's no hardware needed. So in the back there you can see all the very similar. There's a different battery. It's a 2000 milliamp battery, and it's being clipped on by this built-in like kind of little battery clip. And then yeah, there's like an external kind of mounting PCB mount that gets fastened with some nuts and some screws. Look at the bottom of it. You'll see those screws, the other bottom, where the black screws are. Yeah, those are the nylon M25 screws. And that's how I secure the PowerBoost. Is secured to a separate bracket, and that bracket gets mounted to those built-in standoffs on the frame, the shell of the thing. And the front can also come off, so go ahead and snap in that back there. Yeah, just make sure the cables are nice and snapped. There you go, and then you can snap the back out there. If you just kind of pinch the edges, I think it'll kind of fall out. Yeah, like that. There you go. So that comes out. You can see how that fits. Yep, still using the same M25 flat. Is it flat? Yeah, flathead screws that are securing the mounting tabs of the PyPortal to that black colored plate, and then that plate gets mounted with other screws there. So yeah.
If you want to go in and play around with adding the snap fit designs to the other case.
Yeah, we could probably do that too.
I already started adding the geometries to that. The only reason why I didn't do that was just because of the way I designed the mounting bracket. So the only thing you really got to do is just push that in so there's room for the slots to not get in the way of the bracket for that.
Yeah, the frame is a little... The sizing of the framing is different, so I think that's what allowed it. I think I have more clearance or something that allowed it to happen. But yeah, that's pretty much in a nutshell. It does require a little bit of a different assembly, so I might do a mini guide where it just shows how to assemble this one. Yeah, because you do need to have like the right size screws and stuff.
Yeah.
But there you go. That could be maybe a next week or something project. Yeah,
it's definitely different.
It is. Yeah, it is a little bit smaller. Yeah, the fillets are more rounded and that sort of thing. But that's what we got. We got two separate ones. I'll be publishing that within a couple days, I think. Two different approaches, but you get a really nice feature set.
Super awesome.
Yeah.
Dave's letting us know that the code pages in the guide have been updated to match the GitHub.
Awesome. Thank you for that.
And then Yanni is suggesting, Cherry MX buttons. Would be cool for that.
Yes.
I don't believe we don't have any in the store, which is the reason why I went with the arcade buttons.
Yeah, it kind of feels like a Cherry MX button.
I mean, not really.
It doesn't click. Okay.
There's no click.
Yeah, right. It's very kind of springy, but doesn't have any click to it.
Yeah. So that's
this week's project. I hope you guys like it. Definitely give a hug report to Dave. Some great work.
Awesome.
And you can check that out. It's live right now. Don't forget, coupon code is portaltime. So if you want to get anything in the shop that you might need to pick up, please use the coupon code portaltime. Sweet. All right,
jumping into this week's Community Makes.
Oh yeah, let's do that one.
Or Shop Talk. Which one?
Let's do Community Makes.
This week's Community Makes. This is super awesome.
This is super fun.
3D printed Jacob's ladder.
Yeah, so the Jacob's ladder is like a wooden toy, classic. It has this really nice mechanism that allows it to look like it's flipping over and over again just by moving it back and forth. This one was sort of inspired by that. It's by Francis, and he calls it the flip-flop toy. So this is a part that's 3D printed without any supports. It uses print-in-place hinges to create the mechanism. And the cool thing about this is that it is expandable, so you can print out two or more and snap them together. So this is just one of the pieces. We printed two different ones, and we're going to show you it how it works. But yeah, you flip it one way, and it flips.
It's like a continuously flipping
flip toy. All right, let's take a look at the
Here's what that guy looks like when you add multiples together. Actually, you probably have to go to the widescreen.
Yeah, widescreen.
This is so mesmerizing. It's like a, what is it? The
fidget
spinner. Yeah.
Fidget flip. Flip and fidget.
Flipper. Yeah, so this is so cool. You are going to require just a little bit of support for the hinge parts, so they're not floating in the air when they're printing. So you did have to do some trickery in terms of adding like support blockers, or if you're using simplified, don't add any support for the in-betweens right here. It's just the little parts that are holding up the hinges for this. Used a regular 0.4mm nozzle, printing at like, I think it was like 60 millimeters a second, so you don't have to print so slow. And I did have to use brims on the bottom just because of how little the footprints are for each of these. Where my camera? There it is. Just because of how small these little guys are. I did use a brim. I think I used like 2 or 3 brims to hold that in.
Can you get close up to it in the overhead? This one. Yeah.
There we go.
So they're like these little dimples, right? That give it a somewhat of a ball head, ball socket head feel.
Fine little ball right there. This one.
Yeah, I can't focus right now. Sorry. Let's see if I can do a manual.
So definitely inspiring in terms of the smallest like geometry that you can do to make a print-in-place hinge.
Yes.
That's holding all of these guys together. And then, like you were saying before, you can print multiple of these and then snap fit them together.
Yeah, it's really cool.
That works pretty good.
I did drop it, and it didn't break, which was
amazing for something that's so small and.
Let me flip it again.
You'd figure it would be like delicate.
Yeah.
So nice
toy.
little
Great
way
print in place, calibration type print.
Yeah, calibration, leveling, and for hinges, live hinges. It's really cool.
Wow. Very cool. All right, and so that's a design that's for free, available to download and print on your machine.
It is on
Cults 3D.
Yeah.
So check it out. Very fun. Be sure to post to make. I don't know if you can do that here. Maybe. All right. Next up, we have some cool things from the community. First up, we had a question. If what was that phaser in the video, in the alarm clock video? Where did we get that phaser? We actually 3D printed it from Shipbrook here, who posted a nice design that's 3D printable in different pieces. This is a really nice assembly. Perry, you can speak to that one. You were super impressed with this one.
In terms of it actually prints, it actually works. Majority of the parts like this usually don't work out at all.
Built-in spring mechanism of sorts that allows you to kind of pop it open, which is really sweet.
Yeah, a lot of the files that are usually up here that are complex like this, like I was saying, usually don't fit together or don't print at all. Or
this one has Pedro's stamp of approval.
This prints very well. Was able to get all these parts out first try. So that speaks volumes in terms of how good the design for this is.
Super nice breakdown of the post-processing and the mechanism and the design.
Yeah, all the little parts all fit together perfectly. I didn't have to do any funkiness with like the extrusion width or like.
It's aching for electronics, folks.
It is definitely on the list for adding.
Shipbrook also has some really awesome other designs, so check him out as well. Like
lots
this
of really
cool
cool
scanner,
Star Trek themed stuff.
Very cool.
Look at all these cool
got a whole thing going on. Look at all these ray guns. What? That's cool. Wouldn't that be a cool PyPortal project? This one, the global link. Earth, final conflict. Yeah. Did I see that one with John Travolta? Is that it? Earth. Remember? John Travolta's like the alien bad guy, and we're like monkey brains. I don't remember it that well.
Yeah, so these are several different parts. The phaser is its own part, and is as you saw all the way down at the bottom of the last page, a little thing on top. I think it's the phaser. Is a different part on itself.
Excellent. Cool. We'll check it out. We got some other community makes. This is the Prop Maker Lightsaber builds. You can check out Oddities make of it. Posted a couple of photos on Imgur, or is it called Imager? You decide. This is an interesting build because he's 3D printing the blade itself. I didn't even attempt to do that. I just went with a polycarbonate tube, but Diggity here thought he'd 3D print the entire blade. Why not? It seems to work.
Oh wow!
And the diffusion seems to look okay, pretty good here. Just using a 3D printed tube.
Wow!
He posted them as a make. He posted that as a
cool.
remix as well. So if you want to kind of piece together this tube, you can do that too.
That's awesome.
Yeah, very cool. Thanks for sharing that.
Really good idea.
Yeah, I didn't consider that one.
Yeah, you just have to add like a piece of paper or something for diffusion, and it should look excellent.
And then we have another lightsaber build. This is from Jeffy B on Twitter. This is a super sweet custom hilt using, I believe, a polycarbonate. Somebody asked Jeffy if he would be posting his files in a tutorial, and I believe he said yeah, he's working on that. He's cleaning them up and wants to release them to the world. So I really like this design as it covers up the electronics, which is really cool, and it has like a really sleek looking effect, more of the Darth type of feeling with those spikes and stuff. Did you look at this one? This is crazy. I really like the design of the hilt.
Wow.
It seems like it's a little bit more ergonomic. Yeah. So
so awesome.
I'll let you guys know when Jiffy posts his files, because this is really cool.
Yeah, this is so awesome.
Yeah. Using all the electronics tutorials, all the code stuff.
Definitely
Very
ready
cool.
for additional tweaks based on what we see at Star Wars Land
man.
later this year. Should be awesome.
Sweet. That's all the stuff I have today. If you guys like to share your projects with us, please do so. You can hit us up on any of the social channels or email support@adafruit.com. Don't forget, coupon code is portaltime. We're going to have some more stuff coming later this evening. Is Show and Tell. This is called Show and Tell. It happens every Wednesday at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. We'd love to see you and see what you're working on. So feel free to come on and stop by.
We'll be there.
Yeah, and then later that evening, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, is Ask an Engineer with Lamar and Phil. We get a full hour of Lamar and Phil, new products, CircuitPython, hardware, and open source news. So,
and of course, all behind the scenes secret projects.
Yep,
and
there'll be
products
some
that's being worked
giveaways
on.
as well at the end of the show. You can ask Lamar anything and potentially win some stuff.
Yeah.
And then tomorrow, the return of John Park's workshop. He's back,
Yay.
ready to rock. It's Thursdays at 4 p.m. Eastern Time. You get the Make Code Minutes, some live builds, and some more
all those
PyPortal stuff.
Adabox projects.
Adabox
will
projects.
be winding up.
Yeah.
Starting now.
Very cool.
So get ready for that. If you are a subscriber to the PyPortal, or of the Adabox, Adabox 11.
Yeah. I'm
Some awesome surprises in there. It's probably already been spoiled if you're on the Twitter, the Adafruit Twitter. We've been retweeting all those.
Yeah. He mistakenly spoke. Who knows what's in the Adabox? Who knows? Well, I forgot to mention there was a layer by layer this week. Check it out if you are interested in learning some CAD stuff using Fusion 360. I completely forgot. I updated last week's project. It was a PyPortal wall mount for your standard light switches. Andy Leary on Twitter asked what about a version for the outlets, and I thought that was a great idea, of course. So I created a new design and did a little layer by layer screencast recording of how I went about creating the design, making it driven with user parameters, so that you can just update some numbers here and your design will update on the fly, which is really cool. So check that out. It is on the YouTube channels, and I believe I have a link in the description of this video as well, so you can check that out. And then if you go to the Learn Guide for that, I think we can pull it up real quick here. Yeah, here's what it looks like in realsies, in the real life. I did actually have, in the kitchen, there was an outlet hiding that because all the outlets are different here. This one actually fits, so you can see that it uses the same mounting holes as this type of outlet. And there are outlets now that have built-in USB ports, so maybe you don't need the USB wall adapter. You can just plug it straight into the wall. So check that out. The design is up on Thingiverse and GitHub. You can use this Learn Guide here to download the source files for that. But yeah, it uses the same hardware that is in the outlet faceplate. Yeah, very cool. And it's parametric too, so let's say maybe UK has some different sized holes or the distance between the holes are different, we can quickly, easily update that now. So we got those two different designs, one for the light switch and one for the outlet. Both of them are symmetrical, so they can be reversed. They can go on the left or the right of your switch plate.
And if you check out the layer by layer playlist too, Dave was just asking if we had any on creating threads or coils.
Oh, I do.
There's actually two of them on there.
We're actually printed out and talk about tolerances for them. Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, a lot of folks like that one. And then I'll be working on another series of tutorials on how I created this enclosure. So I'm going to try to do this as like a 2 or maybe a 3-parter where we talk about the structure of it, talk about importing joints, and create kind of these sub-assemblies and getting just external parts to make a project enclosure that has a ton of different parts like this one. I think this is a good example, a good project to show different techniques and things, design considerations. Sweet. All right, now that's going to be it for the show. Oh yeah, I forgot to show this one. This is a little cat animation of the
so cool.
of the fasteners. Really interesting note: the outlet receptacles are models that you can get from McMaster Car. Now that's a built-in plugin in Fusion 360. So if you're like, oh man, I need to design this bracket for this standard part, chances are McMaster Car is going to have it, and it's integrated super nice in Fusion. It's just one button, and then it pops up in the catalog of all the different parts, and you can use all the filtering tools to find it. This one was I actually linked I have a part link to it, so if you guys you want that part from McMaster, I provide that part. But yeah, it worked out really well. I was like, oh, look at that, that's the part I need. Oh, awesome. It's like got threads and it's got materials. Yeah, that was fun. Okay, anyway, that's gonna be it for us. Don't forget the coupon code is Portal Time, because it's about to be Portal Time.
Somebody was asking when the unboxing videos, Thomas was asking.
Is that this week or next week?
I don't remember. We had it in our meeting notes. I don't remember.
Yeah, I think it might be
I'm going through it. I don't see it. I think it was for last week when we mentioned when the unboxing.
2 weeks ago.
Yeah, it was for that. Soon.
This is
definitely subscribe. Click on that little bell icon so you can get notified every time new videos are released.
The switches in the UK are completely different. Give me a link. Maybe you'll take a look at it. How different? Does it have 4 holes instead of 2 holes? Then that's a little bit different. Excellent. Well, that's going to be it for us. We really appreciate you guys coming in and hanging out with us. Don't forget, tomorrow is John Park's show. Later tonight is Ask an Engineer and the Show and Tell. That's going to be it from us. Don't forget, we're in the Discord chat rooms all the times, so you can always hang out, ask questions, and post your stuffs.
And for all the behind the scenes, you can follow us on all the socials.
Yep.
Follow Adafruit at Adafruit, Noah at Ekin, and myself at VideoPixel on all of the platforms. We're always posting up behind the scenes of what we're working on.
Yeah. Let us know what you think about the audio as well. Did you like this version? We liked not having to wire up our mics. That was nice.
That was it.
So hopefully this sounds good. It's a little airy, we know, but hopefully we can fix that up next week.
Yeah, we're going to get another mic so it's not as airy, so it's just on us.
Yep. So, there you have it. Don't forget, coupon code is Portal Time. Until next week, folks, don't forget, remember to make a great day. Bye.
See you guys.
Bye.